Good morning. I'm here with my two oldest boys who are both licensed mentored youth hunters, and last year, even with a new baby sister who was born the end of September, we managed to hunt quite a bit. Last year, we brought home 2 nice bucks, some antlerless deer, a big silky black bear, turkeys, and assorted small game, and much of it from public land. And we're not even that good as hunters. You can ask Eric, we have made tons of blunders. And I'm not here to brag because it's not really a reflection on me, but it's a reflection on this board, this agency, and this state. However imperfect you and this agency and our lovely politicians are, we live in a state where there is ample opportunity, there is lots of public land, and lots of thriving wildlife and game populations to pursue. Every year, Pennsylvania has the highest deer harvest per square mile in the country. We have a great bear population, lots of small game, turkeys have been strong, so kudos. My family and my camp have been blessed with lots of success in recent years and tons of great memories. So my concern for hunting is not for this fall, and it's not even 10 falls from now. My concern is really only in the long term, for when these boys are men and raising their own families. When Gary Alt made changes to deer hunting in Pennsylvania over 20 years ago, it was probably the most controversial time for Pennsylvania hunting in our lifetimes. And this year he was given the Lifetime Achievement Award because we saw he was spot on accurate and he did the right thing, even if it caused complaining then. History proved how right he was, and I ask that you be willing to do the same for the future, so that in 20 or 30 years from now, it's one of this generation over here standing up here with their kids, talking about the tough decisions that you made, that are now impacting their lives and their wild places. You've stayed the course on the Saturday opener because it was the right thing, and history proved you right as it did with Gary Alt, even if it caused complaining, and I thank you for that. I appreciate and encourage you to stay the course with antlerless tags and continue to develop better habitat. There are always going to be hunters who struggle to find deer, and they will complain about it, and it is never their fault. I live, work, and play in the northern tier, and I've already logged over 150 miles this year looking for deer and elk sheds. And as I'm hiking, I'm looking for things that deer like to eat and things that they'll feed on. And in many public lands, especially state forests right now, I'm not only seeing an absence of the young hardwoods like oaks, but I'm seeing browse lines on things like hemlock that deer don't like to eat. I'm seeing hillsides of nothing but ferns and black birch, or even worse, I got torn up on one mountainside that was almost impenetrable barberry. Could barely get through that stuff. The habitat was improving for about 20 years and is going backward in a number of places in recent years. So I will find deer and I'll fill my freezer this fall, no problem. But if this continues, I worry what this habitat's going to look like in 20 years. So if deer harvest needs increasing, do it. If the habitat work can be done, I applaud it. I know the DCNR runs a lot of it, it's out of your control, but I would rather hear guys keep complaining about no deer while there are still plenty of deer than to pacify them now and make it a real problem in the future. I would ask for the same attitude towards chronic wasting disease. It may be a more regional problem right now, but I ask that you do all you can to nip it in the bud. Guys are going to complain about it. A lot of them don't even know what CW is, and a lot of them think it's a hoax. You won't please them, but I have to imagine if states like Wisconsin or Wyoming could do it all over again, wouldn't they act sooner? Wouldn't they do more to avoid the mess that they are in now? I ask that you make the tough call to learn from their mistakes and not let Pennsylvania be a hotbed in 20 to 30 years. And lastly, because it's very personal to me, I very much appreciate the pending adjustment to junior and mentored youth and ask that you enact it. To be able to take multiple mentored or junior hunters means I don't have to pick between these two when we want to hunt. Or if I go to my camp for a weekend, I don't have to take only one of them because the other one can't stay at camp by himself. And it also means when my little ones are older that my wife, who's also a licensed hunter, and I can take everyone and we can hunt together as a whole family rather than have to get a sitter for those who would otherwise be forced to be left behind. You have saved me headaches and my kids' tears in the future because no one needs left behind anymore if this game law is adjusted. I appreciate what you do for us sportsmen and conservationists. Sincerely, you have a tough job, an often thankless job, and your volunteer service is of extreme value to us. I know not one of you would be here and put up with all this, unpaid and unappreciated, if you didn't also love the woods and wildlife of Pennsylvania. Thank you.